as the Dragon Emperor. Without showing any mercy, he ruined all the kingdoms and also put his prisoners to work building the Great Wall of China. Despite so much power and splendor, that king had a desire to become immortal. This is why he sent his general Ming to a sorceress who knows the secret of immortality. But on the other hand, Ming fell in love with that sorceress, Sophia. When the king found out about this love, he killed Ming and also attacked Sophia with a knife. Then suddenly, the king felt that sand was falling from his eyes. Sophia began to moan in pain. Sophia cursed him and turned the king and his army into stone, where they remained for thousands of years. After this, we see Rick and his wife Evelyn in London, who used to hunt for priceless treasures all over the world. But now they are retired and living an ordinary life, which makes both of them quite unhappy because everything has become very boring. After some light conversation, Evelyn said, "I am very worried about Alex. I have sent him 3 letters but haven't received a single reply." Rick said, "Alex doesn't even try to maintain a good relationship with us, whereas we don't even say anything." Well, right now, Alex had lied to his parents that he was in college. He had come to China. He was currently trying to find the tomb of the Dragon Emperor. There, Alex met his close friend, Professor Roger. They had been busy searching here for many days. But then suddenly, during excavation, Chinese workers reached the gate. Alex and his team blew up the door with a bomb and quickly entered inside. The builder of this place had laid many traps. One wrong step and spiked walls began to surround them from both sides. They moved forward carefully, watching their every step. Suddenly, they found a skeleton, but as soon as they touched it, another trap activated, causing pieces of the ceiling to start falling down. After some parts of the ceiling fell, light started coming in, after which they saw thousands of stone soldiers, which were the king's army. Alex and his team were amazed to see all this. But accidentally, one of their men activated another trap, in which 3 of Alex's companions were killed. Alex got nervous, but Wilson said that we must keep moving forward, otherwise both of their deaths will be in vain. Moving forward, they saw a compass which was pointing in the wrong direction. As soon as they set it in the right direction, the floor suddenly opened up. Alex suddenly fell into that dark pit, while Wilson was left hanging on the edge. Alex was a little nervous after falling down. He started looking at that room very carefully. He saw skulls and bones everywhere. When he started looking around with the help of a torch, he saw a stone statue in the middle of the room, which was made of stone itself. It was the Dragon Emperor. Alex immediately told Wilson about his discovery and was very happy. But when there was no response from Wilson above, Alex became thoughtful. Then suddenly, an assassin attacked Alex. He tried to trap Alex in a closing door, but Alex stopped the door by jamming an old vase. After a little struggle, the assassin's face was suddenly revealed. It was a girl. Then suddenly, Wilson arrived there and started firing bullets to save Alex. After which, that attacker ran away from there and Alex was saved. Meanwhile, in England, an agent of Britain's Special Forces, Benjamin, met Rick and Evelyn and persuaded them for one last mission. "I know you are retired, but this work is very important." Their mission was to take a thing called the Eye of Shangri-La to the Shanghai Museum in China. In the beginning, both refused, but after a little persuasion, they agreed. Upon reaching Shanghai, the 2 of them met Evelyn's brother Jonathan, who ran a nightclub there. Sometime later, Alex was thrown out of the club's kitchen by some man. Rick immediately stepped forward to save him, but then he recognized this man. His name is Mad Dog McGuire, and the 2 had worked together before. After this, Rick and Evelyn tried to talk to their son Alex, but he started creating some distance. Alex said angrily that he does not want to go back to college, and then quickly, Evelyn took Rick to the rooftop and said, "You will have to treat our son with a little more love. Nothing is going to happen by being too strict." So they decided that they would work on their relationship with Alex. The next day, General Yang, who is an army commander of China, he heard that Rick has the Eye of Shangri-La. With its help, General Yang was dreaming of bringing the Dragon Emperor back to life. His dream was, "I will bring the Dragon Emperor back to life and make China very powerful." In the evening, Alex started showing his parents the statue he had found. Seeing the statue of the Dragon Emperor, Rick became happy and started praising his son. Alex went to find Professor Wilson but felt that someone was following him. He got suspicious, so he started following that man himself. Meanwhile, Wilson met Rick and Evelyn, and they started talking like old friends. Rick showed him the Eye of Shangri-La and said, "I have full trust in you. Give this to the museum people." But soon General Yang arrived there. Seeing him, Wilson's attitude changed completely. He took out a gun and aimed it at Rick and said, "The general himself gave the money for your son Alex's excavation because he wants to bring the king back to life." Rick and Evelyn tried to stop him from doing any of this, but Wilson started threatening, "I will shoot. I'm telling you." At that very moment, Alex saw that girl who was trying to kill him. She is still alive and her name is Lynn. Now, at gunpoint, the general said to Evelyn, "Quickly, read the mantra." When Evelyn read the mantra written on the Eye of Shangri-La, that thing suddenly started changing and it turned into a chalice, inside which was a nectar that would bring the king back to life. General Yang said to Wilson, "Now shoot them, it doesn't matter." But just as Wilson was about to shoot, Alex and Lynn arrived there and saved Rick. The whole family now started fighting the enemies together. But accidentally, that chalice spilled and the nectar fell onto the king's statue. Lynn attacked the skeleton of the king present in that chariot with a special dagger, trying to finish him off before he came back to life. But it turned out that skeleton did not belong to the king at all. The king was trapped inside that statue on which the nectar had fallen, and now he was quickly coming back to life. Rick fired a barrage of bullets at him, but it had no effect. A little while later, his stone horses also started coming to life. Lynn and Alex got stuck under the horse's chariot. When the king started fleeing from there, Rick, Evelyn, and Jonathan started chasing them in a truck full of fireworks. Rick launched a rocket at the king, but the king survived and the rocket hit a car full of people. After which, there was a tremendous explosion. When Evelyn brought the truck close to the king, Rick saw the opportunity and jumped onto a horse. Rick cut the rope of his horse and started asking Alex to come with him from behind. But Alex was still not ready to take his father's help. Meanwhile, the situation got worse. The king set fire to the fireworks in Evelyn's truck and Rick's horse went out of control. Lynn and Alex started trying to stop the king. During this, General Yang shot Lynn. Alex moved forward to save her, but he suddenly slipped. Hanging back with great difficulty, he barely managed to save himself. Then Lynn helped him and said, "The bullet didn't hit me." But then Yang separated the chariot from the horses, causing their chariot to leap into the air. The king used his power to turn the road into ice. Lynn and Alex could not hold on to their seat and they all crashed into the middle of a Chinese festival, where Rick and Evelyn also were. Everyone barely avoided colliding with things here and there. During this, the fireworks in Evelyn's truck started exploding. After which, Evelyn and her brother Jonathan jumped out of the truck and saved their lives. The king ran away, after which everyone stopped at Jonathan's nightclub. There, Lynn told them about herself. "I am from the king's own family. We have been protecting the king's mausoleum for years." She told them that this king was very cruel and no one should wake him up. Now they must somehow get the king to the portal of Shangri-La. This is the only way they can finish him. She showed everyone a dagger with which they can kill the king forever. After which, all the people boarded a plane and, after a stormy journey, reached the mountains of the Himalayas. This path was very dangerous and at one point they were about to fall into a chasm. But somehow they saved their lives. Maguire informed them that General Yang's gang had reached the mountain. Hearing this, Rick and everyone else decided that they should stay here for the night. When night came, everyone started resting. Evelyn said to Lynn, "Alex probably likes you. He's my son. I know that much about him." When Alex came into the tent, Lynn directly asked him, "Is there something like that?" On which, pretending to be cool, Alex said, "No, are you crazy? Love? And me? Pfft with you." Lynn also replied in the same style and said, "Yes, I don't like you either." But there was no need to go, "Pfft." But looking at both of them, it was clear that something was going on between them. The next day, all of them reached an old temple in the middle of which was a golden tower. As soon as Yang's soldiers took their position in front of the temple, bullets started firing from both sides. During the fight, Chinese soldiers used a rocket launcher which caused a lot of damage to the temple too. As the attacks continued, the temple structure began to weaken. Rick and his team started retreating thinking this. Jonathan tried to light the bombs tied around the golden tower so that the king could not get his full power back. But he got caught in the crossfire and barely managed to escape. While running, his lighter fell in the snow and he couldn't light it. Rick and Evelyn saw that Lin was outside the temple, saying something crying in a strange language, while the Chinese soldiers tried to take complete control of the temple. Then suddenly, 3 large animals came from somewhere and started helping them fight the soldiers. Jonathan found his lighter again and finally lit the fuse. Those large animals, together with Rick and his team, killed most of the soldiers. But the situation changed when the king came out and with his power, started pulling sharp thorns from the ground. The king used his magic to stop the burning fuse and scared those animals away. The king then started climbing that golden tower and placed the Eye of Shangri-La there. As soon as he placed it, a different kind of light started emanating, which pointed towards a specific place. Meanwhile, Alex started preparing to attack the king with a stick of dynamite. But he did not see that the king had thrown his sword towards him. Then Rick came in between and pushed his son away, saving him. But he himself got injured by the sword. Because of this, Alex's aim missed and the dynamite exploding started a blizzard. A wave of snow started moving towards them. Then suddenly those strange animals returned and saved them. Everything was covered in large pieces of ice. Then the whole team gathered again in one place. When everyone found out that Rick was very close to dying, Lin told everyone, "Come with me." Soon they reached a cave where they met Sophia, who is alive to this day and is Lin's mother. Alex immediately understood that both Lin and her mother are immortal. Sophia asked everyone to rest and started treating Rick. Sophia said that she has been living here since the emperor stabbed her several hundred years ago. At that time, these strange-looking animals, also called yetis, saved her life. While Rick was being treated, Alex went to Lin and said, "I was acting cool before, but I really love you." On this, Lin refused and said, "Look, I don't want to become like my mother." She loved General Ming with all her heart and then mourned his death for centuries. "You will grow old and die. What will I do without you?" Amidst all this, Jonathan arrived and said that Rick has now regained consciousness. When Alex went to the room to meet his father, he opened his heart completely in front of them. He apologized to his father with full love and respect and said that from now on he will show that he is a good son. Rick was surprised to see his son's changed avatar. He started saying, "No, it's my fault. I am a terrible father." They both started apologizing to each other. Then Sophia also said to Lin, "I will shed the burden of my immortality so that you can live a normal life." But then suddenly the king attacked them with a fireball, which separated Lin and Sophia. Knocking both women to the ground, the king also snatched that dagger which was his only weakness. Without that dagger, no one will be able to kill him. Then the king descended into that divine pool of water present there so that he could completely heal. From inside that pool, the king emerged as a 3-headed dragon. The terrifying fire coming out of his mouth illuminated the entire cave. To settle his old score with Sophia, the king kidnapped Lin and reached the same place where his army was imprisoned. There he also met General Yang. Meanwhile, Rick and his companions also started pursuing them in their airplane. When the king arrived there, he turned back into a human and started assuring his army that they would rule the entire world. At this time, Rick and his companions were hiding behind rocks far away. Soon Sophia reached a cave made under the earth. She began chanting mantras to resurrect the king's old enemies buried inside the Great Wall of China. To bring these people to life, she sacrificed her and Lin's immortal life. As soon as this ritual is complete, she will become an ordinary human. Then suddenly, many skeletons started emerging from the ground and ran towards the battlefield. Now they were ready to fight the king's army. Then Rick realized that Alex was not there. Alex had disguised himself and infiltrated the Chinese soldiers. Soon he freed Lin, who was in their captivity. The king reached Sophia, who was standing on a small rock. Soon a tremendous fight broke out between the two of them. Both were making swift attacks on each other. Attacking Sophia, the king knocked her sword down and then stood holding a sword to her neck. While holding his sword, Sophia noticed that he had that special dagger with him. She deliberately moved forward and secretly pulled out the dagger. The king thought he had won and, pulling his sword, threw Sophia down the cliff. When the king saw airplanes flying there, he immediately turned into a dragon and completely destroyed the plane. When Rick gathered again with everyone else, the king started moving towards an underground tube so that he could fully awaken his army. During this, Rick and his group saw that Sophia was crawling away somewhere in an injured state. Before chasing the king, Sophia died in her daughter Lin's arms. But before dying, she placed that same dagger in her hand, which is the king's weakness. While Lin was mourning her mother's death, Alex and Rick picked up that dagger and started pursuing the king. Alex reached there before the king could awaken his army. To fight him, the king again took the form of a dragon. Rick jumped from behind and tried to drive the dagger into the animal's heart, while the king threw Alex far away. When Rick could not pierce the king's heart with that dagger, the king pulled out the dagger and attacked Rick with it. Fortunately, Rick survived, but the dagger hit a wall and broke into two pieces. Meanwhile, Lin and Evelyn were fighting General Yang, who had somehow survived the bombs Jonathan had dropped. Soon both women together killed Yang. Along with this, a tremendous fight started between the king and Rick. While they were fighting, Alex picked up one broken piece of the dagger and left a special message in the dirt for his father. Rick saw that message in the middle of his fight and immediately understood what he had to do. He immediately picked up the other piece of the dagger and, as soon as he got the chance, struck the king's heart. The king wasn't too scared because the dagger was broken. But then Alex jumped from behind and drove the other piece of the dagger into the king's body. After which, the king was surrounded by flames and was destroyed. With the king's last breath, his army was also destroyed. After this, everyone returned to Shanghai. In the end, we see Rick and Evelyn dancing together. Along with them, Alex and Lin were also dancing together, meaning both couples are very happy with each other. If you liked the video, please like it,